Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to a Frozen Over Texas. Okay, for some reason, when you combine a bunch of Liberty and brisket and Buc-ee's and H-E-B together, once a year, you get a frozen state. Okay, I don't know if it's retribution for the abortion laws out here, where they're like, if you were gonna have these crazy laws, then hell's freezing over. You know, like we're just gonna make it super cold, and you guys aren't gonna be able to do anything. And people will say things like in Texas about how, because there's people I know that live here from Buffalo, from New York, from all these other Montana, these really cold climates that moved to Texas, and they're like, how are Texans so afraid of winter and snow? And it's true. Ironically, for being so tough, they're little snowflakes with snowflakes. And the reason is Texas isn't built for cold weather at all. Texas is built for yeehaws and howdies. Okay? Because the second the roads get icy, they're like, we don't have a fucking salt truck. We don't know how to do this. And they're like, my truck just screeches like a bald eagle and doesn't have chains on the wheels. Okay, so they don't know how to drive because the infrastructure's not built for it. So it is kind of a crazy thing where once it gets cold here and it gets icy, everything shuts down. Like right now, it is Wednesday afternoon. You're not going anywhere. All right. Like I'm stuck indoors. And what sucks for me is like everybody's like snow day because it's all, icy and built over outside. Your boy works from home. I got a home studio. So I just keep cranking out the work, still doing meetings, still just doing my thing, just chugging along. It's just a little cooler outside. That's all it is. The one downside, I can't do stand up. Everything's been canceled this week. Which sucks. And that's how I realized like how much I love doing stand-up is the lack of it in my life, the less good of a person I become. Okay. Like it makes me realize like how important in life it is to do what you actually enjoy. Because I go a few days without doing stand-up and your boy just cranky. All right. I'll get weird if I'm just like indoors. I'm not an indoor house cat. Okay. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. All right. And I get weird if I'm indoors cooped up for too long. Okay. I may be a pigeon, but I'm a traveling pigeon. I'm a homing pigeon. Okay. I'll always come home. I'll recharge my batteries, but I gotta be doing things. I gotta be out there. The stakes gotta be real for me. Okay. And that makes me wonder about the world we're going to have in the future. We talked about this before. ChatGPT, Midjourney. Midjourney, if you don't know what these are AI applications. And Midjourney is a cool one. You can write in a description, any kind of thing you can think of. You can write it and it'll create basically a picture of it for you, artwork, whatever stylings, anything you can think of. It's a really fun thing to just play around with because you can just create the craziest shit. Like I was having so much fun when I first utilized it, just making stuff for funsies, But I've actually been using it in my business for doing like graphics and website backgrounds, like stuff like that. And it's amazing. But there's like scary things that are starting to happen with AI where we're just on the brink of it to where I don't know what happens going forward. They're doing so much like deep fakes and things like that with AI. Like there's different AI things that you can type in a speech and it will have like a robot person, not a robot person, but like someone on the screen will say it back to you. Like there's a video with Morgan Freeman. You could just pick like an avatar, but it looks like a real person and you can type out the speech and they'll say the whole speech like a human is saying it. And it makes me wonder where the future is going with dopamine and stimulation and the human experience. Listen, I'm not Andrew Huberman. I'm not Jordan Peterson. I'm not Lex Friedman. I'm not all these people all wrapped up into one. Okay. But it's something I think about a lot because I'm someone who's experienced, kind of realizing that, oh, none of this stuff will give you, happiness. Like with social media, I really try to limit it. We've talked about this 1,000 bajillion times, but like the experience on social media is not healthy after a while. Like you really have to balance it. You can't rely on it completely. And that's always the interesting thing is what is the human experience and what is it going to be going forward? Am I locked into an old software where I am the one that shouldn't put my heels in, and it's the turbulence period of adjusting to whatever the future is going to be for humans? Because that's two different ideas is this all necessary turbulence so the next couple generations can adapt and evolve and then live in a different kind of experience that I'm like humans 3.0? Because if you look at probably even the first like cavemen, the Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, whatever mixture of that we are, they might have seen our current civilization and been like, shit, like that seemed like, look at, they would, I mean, I don't even know what they would think. Like they were just so forced into the food chain survival aspect of our brain. And then is it like the next couple generations are so disconnected from the dopamine and human pleasure centers that we are currently, I think, exploited with? Are they next level? Like they have the firmware and the firewall to protect against that, so they're beyond that? That would be the ideal situation, because with like innovation and technology and AI, so much of what our most important human experience is of like our dopamine receptors of what we need to just like progress are currently being exploited. And if they could, like, they took care of all of that and they were able just to not even be interested in it, I think that's when human life goes to like the next thing. Like that could easily be, those are the little gray, slender alien humans. Like that's always been kind of a theory and an idea of what aliens could be. Because think about it. If you dropped me, and I'm talking Dapper Dan in a suit, like you take our most elegant looking human beings, like, and you put them in a crazy outfit, you put them in a Nike tracksuit and you drop them in with cavemen, they're going to be like, what in the alien fuck Narnia is this? If you just dropped a person from today, take a fuck boy and you drop them into, a caveman period. They're all around the little fire and he drops in the cave and he's like, what's up? Name's Chad. And they're just going to be like, this is an alien. This isn't our species. It kind of looks like us. But obviously this language, this fuckboy language, he smells like Axe body spray. This is something different. Like that's kind of crazy to think that if that's only been thousands of years, what happens in 50,000 years, 100,000 years, if something like, like history repeats itself. What if aliens, like what if, Elon Musk wants to go to Mars, all of this, he wants to get away from his kids. He wants to get off the planet. What if there was an Elon Musk before? There's always been civilizations and things that we're learning and things that, just completely got disintegrated from the history books. What if Earth wasn't even the original Earth? Like, what if that idea already happened in a different place and humans were dropped here again from an infantile, place where they got completely wiped out. And then it was like they evolved. And then we evolve now, we get off the planet, the planet gets wiped out, and human civilization, which has happened, goes all the way back to like a dwindling 1 to 3%. I don't know what the lowest amount of humans have ever been since like humans started. Hey, I'm super stupid, but try to just stay with me. Stay in this dumbass rabbit hole I'm in. Howdy. Those humans that left, let's say Elon Musk from the past, they all left. Elon Musk got away from his kids. They all die on Earth, and human beings are down to like 3 to 5% of the world population. Well, now we have our current civilization, but guess what? Alien fucks over there, humans that left, they all have just evolving technology from their peak from before. So now they're so far ahead. And then guess what? They come back to check on us. They come back. You drop a human from 30,000 years in the future with us now, and we're going to be like, this is an alien. This is next level. And that could be where we're going, right? That's like the next step of evolution is going to be something. If I had to pick, what would be the ideal human? It wouldn't be not having AI. It wouldn't be going away from technology. What it would be is not disabling, but having the firewall, and you could just call it discipline, to not be affected by these onslaughts of exploitations on our dopamine receptors, food, sex, pleasure, everything like on a lizard brain that we're exploited by. Dude, that's what the next evolution would be, is something like that. Like how easily we're swayed politically from what, like pushing the needle this way, that way, the algorithms, the content, what we're censored from. There's all this stuff. And if we disabled like all that emotional turbulence, what would we evolve into? Because we think what the human experience is now is like we're at our core so tethered to our emotions. So it's like, that's what we, like our satisfaction machine, like what is in the human spirit. And like our bodies for just survival are all dopamine receptors, and they've been like hijacked. And I wonder if we, by demand, we evolve past needing that and past allowing that to be exploited. I think that's where we get into the next level of survival, because you always think that if, let's say, a different kind of alien than the metaphor that I'm speaking of, aliens came to attack Earth, would the world band together as a human race and be like, now we're fighting aliens? I think that just like fire and all these, sticks and stones and everything that was utilized by like, what are they called? Early hominids? Humanoids? I don't know. There's a word for like early humans. Fire, sticks, tools, everything like that, shelter. All these things were made by demand of survival. I think if we got to the point where these dopamine receptors that were exploited, we might actually look at what's the best way to save the universe. Like, what are we going to do? Like, we would look at bigger issues rather than just the stupid shit that we focus on. I think it's all locked into like our most base layer of stuff. And like, that's like the biggest thing for me is like, how do I get disciplined with whatever can be exploited as much in my life? Whether that's from lust, jealousy, desire, insecurity, like in all senses of those words. From like, I don't give a shit about keeping up with the Jonesies, whatever it is. I don't care about if someone thinks I have a nice car, house, whatever. I don't really care about trying to get something just for show. Insecurity, you want where you live to be safe, blah, 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 all of that. Jealousy, you can't be jealous of other people because it's like, what is it? Jealousy is what is that quote about? Is it bitterness? Jealousy is like drinking poison and hoping it kills someone else. Anyway, maybe that's resent. I don't know. Anyway, the point I'm making is like, we're going to have to evolve. And I think if we evolve past the point of these dopamine receptors being hijacked, all this AI stuff, all open, Chat GBT, Midjourney, integrating with AI is going to be a much better thing than if it's not. Because there is a lot of, I think we have to get in control of those things if we're going to do this correctly. Because with social media and everything online, it just seems like it's all out to exploit dopamine. And it makes people sad. It makes people, I think everybody's focus is like a lot of people online are almost like little gerbils drinking sugar water in a lab, where it's just like you can't get away from this little like fake artificial sugar water, and it's slowly killing you, rather than being able to go out into the world and like drink stuff that's great for you. It's like diet life. I've said that before. And it's not ideal. And I think the only way that we like utilize technology correctly and move forward is if we're able to get control of the dopamine. And that's the only way I see AI being a dangerous thing, is if we're not able to get control of that, and it's used even harder to exploit people. Because looking like, when presidents are running for election, like fucking election year, the news, everything is meant to kind of make you feel a certain way and to rile you up. Yeah, this was I don't know why the cold weather in Texas brings this out of me. Okay. But it feels like that, because it's been a huge thing I've been seeing around is with AI and everything and what it's going to be. I'm just over here trying to recalibrate myself. Okay. I'm trying to get away from social media. I'm trying to, in a healthy way. Like, I still love seeing friends and family stuff on social media to like get to interact with them on a certain level. What I don't like is when you just start seeing the same things popping up over and over and over and over again. And like kind of just the fake stunting. Like, we're so over that. That's so 2010. Okay. Grow up, kids. Grow up. But remember, no matter what, guys, this is going to be a short episode. It's fucking frozen outside. Tell someone you love them. Okay. Give someone a hug. Call someone you ain't talked to in a minute. Just tell them you love them. All right. Go outside, breathe some fresh air, have a moment. Don't get locked into this little fucking device that's just going to slowly rot your brain like fucking Halloween candy. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode. Always feel free to write me. If you have any ideas about AI, I love hearing theories. Leave a comment on YouTube, okay? Subscribe, all right? Send suggestions. Send in questions for the podcast. I'll gladly answer. And remember, no matter what, I still love you.